Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Natalie, why are you making this stand today?
Well, I've decided to make this stand for all small businesses in Alberta. The government has responded to all of us saying, I know this is hard, we understand. They don't understand. Until they have to take their families to the food bank to get food, they don't understand.
Sheila Gunn Reid here for Rebel News in Innisfail, Alberta. The sun is just coming up, and I think we're about to witness an act of economic survival and an act of civil disobedience. Like Toronto's Adam Skelly and his Adamson barbecue rebellion, I think we might have a barbershop rebellion on our hands this morning here in central Alberta. Bladez to Fadez, behind me here, is a small barbershop in Innisfail in central Alberta. And like every other barbershop, nail salon, hair salon, personal care service, gym, recreation center, and tattoo shop, Bladez to Fadez has also been ordered closed by the Alberta government as a pandemic response measure. So the owner, Natalie Klein, has decided to reopen her doors at 9 a.m., so 20 minutes from now. Supporters are already gathering along the street here. There's private security on site, and I asked about that. I thought, well, maybe they're here to give the owner a ticket, but actually the owner of the building has advised me that he called private security to protect the building from anti-reopening protesters, and CTV News has a camera crew. The barbershop is also just down the street from the Innisfail town office, so it remains to be seen how or if there will be any enforcement or crackdown on the reopening, or if there will be fines handed down today. I guess we'll see. Let's go check it out. So, Natalie, why are you making this stand today?
Well, I've decided to make this stand for all small businesses in Alberta. The government has responded to all of us saying, I know this is hard, we understand. They don't understand. Until they have to take their families to the food bank to get food, they don't understand what it's like to own a business that you can't have any customers in. It's devastating. And I decided to make a stand because my uncle, former Premier of Alberta, Ralph Klein, would have wanted me to do this. He was a man for the people. And somebody has to stand up and say, no, this isn't right anymore. How can Kenney take a whack-a-mole approach to which businesses get to stay open and which don't? And it's always the big money maker box stores that get to stay open. So at this point, we all have to come together and send a message to our government saying enough is enough. There's been no support. There's been no government grants issued. I'm still waiting. So at this point, it's a do or die. There hasn't been one known transmission of COVID in this industry. So it makes no sense to me why we're shut down when we can have a client in and out in 15 minutes in my specific barbershop. It's a very quick service. And if you can go get your dog's haircut, I'm pretty sure you can come in here for 15 minutes and get your kid's haircut or yourself a haircut.
Now, your salon is spotless. And you rightly point out that there have been no instances of transmission associated to your industry. I see that you have signs saying that you will ask if your customers would like to wear masks. So you're not against any of the measures taken to stop the spread of the coronavirus.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. I do believe it's a real virus. My dad, for instance, former superintendent of BC Ambulance and historian, caught COVID-19 before Christmas. He has since recovered, and he fully supports this decision. He thinks that this needs to change. Open all non-essential businesses or close everything. Don't, who is picking and choosing? And it's not right. I think we're all misinformed of these numbers. And I've had a lot of people come and message me on Facebook saying, what if we open and cause a spread? I don't think so. In the height of the numbers being as high as they were back in September, there was still not one known transmission case in this industry. So for those people to come to me and say that, they need to go back and look at the facts.
Well, and they're welcome to just stay home and not get their hair cut.
Exactly. Choose not to come out. I have a mother who's on dialysis that stands behind me. High risk group also. And these people don't understand why we cannot make a living. But I can go into Costco, Walmart, Superstore, and it can be jam-packed, and hang out there for an hour and go shopping. So, and those are the same restrictions that they say we can't open because you spend hours in a chair. You can spend hours in Costco. It's the same thing, double standard. So it needs to end.
And today, are you hoping to inspire other businesses?
I hope everybody starts to realize that this is about big money and not about small businesses' livelihoods. I would just like the government to not have a paycheck for one whole month. Everyone on a salary, not get a paycheck for one whole month. You'll know what it's like to walk in our shoes and how you have to tell your children that, sorry, you can't have that. You can't have that for dessert. You can't have that toy. And the stack of bills, the cutoff notices. Meanwhile, we have a shop ready to go.
I take it that you're not a lady who's looking for a handout. You just want to be able to do what you're able to do and what you're able to do best. And that's why I want to extend an offer to you, Natalie, the same offer we're making to any small business that chooses to reopen in the face of some pretty steep and escalating fines. If the government issues you a fine for your choice to survive today, please reach out to us and we will provide you a lawyer to fight that fine. I don't want you to pay it. I want you to plead not guilty, and we'll fight it with everything that we have because we think it is so important for small businesses to survive.
Thank you so very much. We appreciate that. My family appreciates that. I'm very, very grateful that you're here and support, and we have so many supporters, and I just hope we can make a difference here today.
Gentlemen, why did you come down to support the barbershop today?
Well, they're my neighbors, number one. Number two, I believe exactly what they're doing. It's just time that we stand up and say, we're not trying to kill anybody. We're going to wear our masks when needed. We're going to do whatever is necessary to keep clean, but we're also not going to put up with the crap that they're going to kill every business in Alberta.
Well, I'm fed up with the control that's going on in Alberta, Canada, the world. I'm just fed up with it. I've had enough, and people got to stand up for what's right and what they believe in, and that's why I'm here.
Do you have a message for the provincial government who's imposing these lockdowns on these small businesses?
Yeah, resign. We know why you're doing this, okay? So resign, and let's get some real people in there that don't have dirt and blood on their hands, okay? Just resign.
Because they have families to feed. We all have families to feed. We can't pay our bills if we're not working.
Pretty much the same thing, and it ain't about the flu bug, it's about control.
Now, I see you have a mask in your hand, so you're not against masks.
No, I gave them their 4 weeks. I said I would give them their 4 weeks. But the problem is that they're going to extend it and extend it and extend it. This is how the control works. It has to end now.
The backbone of Alberta is small business. 70% of all the jobs in Canada are small business, and frankly, the strategy that's being used to fight COVID is flawed. And we're finding ourselves in a situation where if we don't stand up for ourselves, we're going to go broke. And we have mental health issues, and we have all kinds of essential services that are declared essential that don't line up. And we can have our dog groomed, but we can't get a haircut is frankly bizarre.
I'm here to support small businesses. These people need to get open. They're at their end of their rope. Jason Kenney said that they were going to open on 12th today, and he put another 2 weeks on it. And what's the end? They've prepared to open on this day, and they've spent money on restrictions and keeping it clean and making sure it's operating safely, and they should be allowed to open. There's been 0 cases of any COVID or any virus in hair salons and gyms. And Jason Kenney himself apologized in March for his lockdowns in March, and then 2 weeks later he imposes more restrictions. So we need to stop the hypocrisy. We need to get these businesses open. Their livelihood is at stake here.
Now, I think Jason Kenney might have a bit of a problem on his hands with his polling numbers, because it seems to me that it was the small business community that supported him, and yet they're the ones being hammered the hardest by these restrictions. It feels as though he's losing them.
He's 100% losing them. I, for one, voted for Jason Kenney, and I expected him to take care of small business in Alberta, and he's doing no such thing. It seems to me that he's pandering to the east and maybe looking for the big job out east and looking for the support of Ontario. And I think it's a big shame, and he's not taking care of Albertans. We're hardworking Albertans. We are law-abiding Albertans. We're trying to jump through all these hoops and get things open, yet he still stifles us, and it's not right.
Jason Kenney, God bless your heart, but man, you have to just rise up and realize that this is your people that we're doing this for. This is your people, that we need your help in realizing that we cannot survive. We need to stand up for all small businesses. Every one of us is essential. So please, hear our plea, hear our cry, and come on down for a haircut. All right.
I came to support the barbershop because I'm supporting all small businesses being open right now. This is how these people survive. It's their bread and butter, and they just want to go to work, and I support that. And I think all businesses should be open today.
Do you think there's a disconnect when the government says, oh, we'll just close the doors, but we'll give you some handouts? Do they really understand the mindset of an Albertan?
Not at all. Not at all. People want to work. They don't want handouts. They don't want government assistance, whatever they want to call that. People just want to work. They have it's a self-worth thing, and people just want to get to work and do their own thing.
I believe that we all have a fundamental responsibility to provide for our families and be productive contributors to our society and our town, and I just think we have that responsibility right now, but we don't have the freedom to do that, and it's a big problem when you're under that responsibility, but we don't have the freedom to do it. So I'm here to support that.
How do you respond to the criticism of people who will say that it's irresponsible and dangerous for the barbershop to be open?
I think what it's doing is just creating a conversation around it. I think the debate is not closed. I think there's a logical argument to fight for this, and this is not about virus denying. This is about logical responses to that virus and the damage that this response has done to our culture and our economy. So I think the conversation is not closed, and we need to keep it going, and this kind of forces the issue.
Hey, can I ask you why you chose to be the first customer today?
Well, I've been waiting for one for a while, and they were willing to be open to serve the public, and it's their business, and I like supporting local businesses, so figured why not come down and get a haircut. We all have our right to support our families, provide for our livelihoods, and I think it's great that they're willing to help out serve the local community.
So you just popped in there and dropped something off. What was that?
I dropped off some money for them to either fight the fine if there's going to be one, or go out for dinner because they deserve it. They've got some courage, and it's what Albertans used to be like.
Well, the crowd has started to dissipate. I've been outside here for a couple of hours. I had to go back to the vehicle, get some warmer clothes on, get some ski pants on, because I've been outside the whole time. Saw some familiar faces, met some new friends. The good news is, at least for now, no government officials, nobody from Alberta Health Services, nobody from the police or RCMP have shown up quite yet to fine Natalie, although I am convinced in the coming days, maybe even in the coming hours, that will indeed happen. You heard it here first, though, that if Natalie does receive a fine for her act of economic survival here today, we are going to help her fight that ticket at fightthefines.com. For Rebel News here in Innisfail, Alberta, one of my favorite places in all of Alberta, I'm Sheila Gunn Reid. If you are a small business owner or entrepreneur who is planning to reopen your business in the face of escalating fines, please reach out to us at iwillopen.com and let us tell your story.